All right, welcome guys. The live stream should be starting up right now. Super excited to break down the quarterfinal matchups here for Olympic basketball. We have Germany, Slovenia, USA, Spain, France, Italy, Argentina, and Australia. Project all four to be pretty solid games here. And again, we're going to have basketball all night long. So very, very excited to watch these games. If you're just coming in, if you could, leave a like button on the live stream and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So what we're going to do here is we'll take a look at the Vegas odds. Then I'll go team by team, talk about the players I have some interest in, leave some time for questions at the end. So let's start it off with Vegas odds. And we have Germany, Slovenia as the first game of the night. It is projected to be the highest scoring game, again, partly because Slovenia just plays at such a fast pace. 184.5 over under. Slovenia are 16.5 point favorites. Spain and USA, a 179.5 over under. USA are 12 point favorites. Italy and France, a 169.5 over under. France, 8.5 point favorites. And Argentina Australia, 171.5 over under. Australia are 8.5 point favorites. All right, so we'll start off on the Germany side. So Germany, Mo Wagner is at 7.7K. I think it's hard to get to him. He did play over 20 minutes the first game, 12 game 2 was in some foul trouble. Only played 13. That most recent game was not in foul trouble, so obviously that is concerning. Now, he's a good point per minute guy, and we did see a couple exhibition games where he played 20, 25 plus minutes. So is there a chance he could play that in this game? I think it's possible. However, it's going to be hard for me to get to him with confidence. So right now, nothing more than a dart throw in GPPs. Low for Germany, I think, is a pretty safe play, kind of the upper mid-tier. He should play about 30 minutes. Now, he had 9 turnovers 2 games ago. He shot 12-12 last game. Still put up some decent fancy scores. I do think the ownership will be pretty low. I don't think anything or anyone really on Germany, maybe besides Thiemann, is going to be popular. So Low, kind of like Wagner, just more of a contrarian option. I'm probably going to pass on Votman. I think Bonga is playable as one of those value centers. However, he has taken a little bit of a step back offensively the last couple games, only shooting 5 and 2 times. So that is a little bit worrisome. We do have a lot of good value centers on the slate as well. Andreas Obst, I think, is a fair value play, 4.2K. Would have wished he was they had him listed as a shooting guard because he is a shooting guard. He should play. The positive with him are the minutes. Again, negative is he's very, very reliant on the scoring. But it's gone for 17, 17, and 20 fantasy points last 3 games, so fair value play. And finally, Votman, I think, is going to be probably the most popular player on this, or not Votman, sorry, Thiemann is going to be the most popular player on this Germany team. It's played over 20 minutes last couple games, gone for 24 and 26 minutes. I talked about it a little bit in my YouTube video, but I think he's overachieved these last couple games. We went over recent games and exhibition games where he wasn't doing much. So I still think he's a good value play, but might be a little bit over-owned. I think you can definitely make the argument to fade him. There's other value for sure on this slate. And that is really it for Germany. I don't think I'm going to get to anyone else. So let's move on to Slovenia. Slovenia plays at a really, really fast pace. Now I have Luka at 13.2K. So I'm trying to figure out, what his ownership is going to be on the slate. He has been, the ultimate chalk the last few slates. I don't think it's going to be that way this slate, right? If you fade Luka, you can get 3 spend-ups in your lineup. If you play Luka, you're going to be able to get one other star with him. So I think that is going to lower the ownership on Luka. I still don't have a great feeling on his ownership, maybe sub 50%. But I still think he's one of the best plays of the slate. He's going to play 35 plus minutes as long as you know foul trouble and this game stays close. And he's probably going to get you close to a triple-double. So I still really like Luka. I think there is enough value to get him in there. But if you do play him, you're going to sacrifice probably getting to a 3rd star in your build. Now, Mike Toby, I'll basically have the same analysis with him as I had the first 3 games for Slovenia. Is his ownership is going to be super low because even though I think the ownership will drop on Luka, it's still going to be high. If people are playing Luka, they're obviously not going to play Toby, so that's going to lower the ownership. But 31, 25, 38 fantasy points. They like running that pick and roll with him. He should play about 30 minutes, I would say, in this game. He's a good rebounder. He's gone for double-digit rebounds each of the first 3 games. So I think he's a fair contrarian spend-up. Again, I think the ownership is going to be very, very low. The issue, though, is he's center eligible, and there's a lot of good value center plays. So, again, ownership, I think, will be very, very low on him. The next tier for Slovenia, Kančar and Dragic should play over 20 minutes. However, it's going to be hard for me to get to either of them. Probably going to stay away. A couple shooting guards I think are interesting here, kind of in the mid-range. We got Prepelic and Blazic. Prepelic will come off the bench. He'll be a high-usage guy. He shot the ball 15 times 2 games ago. He's a guy that will handle the ball a decent amount when Luka's not out there. He's gone for 2, 5, 3 assists first 3 games, and he's a good shooter too. So I think Preplich is a solid play in the mid-range. Also, Blasic is going to start the shooting guard and should play mid-20s minutes. So both these guys, do have some upside. Blasic has shot 10 and 15 times last couple of games, so obviously he is going to get some shots up. So Preplich, Blasic, I think are fair plays in the mid-range. Neither are priority plays, but I do think they're viable. Now, Edo Muric has been popular last couple slates because there's been no small forward value. We do have some spend-up small forwards we'll talk about that look pretty decent here. So with the price going up to 4.8K and him only playing 11 minutes last game, it's going to be hard for me to prioritize him. I think we get mid-teens minutes, but he is not very aggressive in the offensive end when he is on the court. And that's probably it. I'll mention Ziga Dimic because I think he'll play around 8 minutes. He'll be productive when he's out there, but I do think there's better value at the center position. All right, guys, let's move on to USA and Spain. Real quick, if you guys are just coming in, if you could, leave a like button on the live stream. We're currently at over 100 views, only 19 likes. Let's try to get to 70, 80 likes before the end of the show. And I'll leave some time for questions at the end. All right, on the USA side, so we have Dame and KD at the top. These are the two guys I'm looking to as far as spend-ups go. I do like the discount more on KD than Lillard. Plus, point guard is a much more loaded position, right? We have Luka, we have Rubio, Campozo. There's a lot of solid plays at point guard where small forward, not as much. So I think KD looks better. Also, again, he's cheaper. He played 28 minutes last game, 21 in this game against France, but he fouled out in that game. So I think we get close to 30 minutes from KD. He'll be productive when he's out there. I do think he is one of the better spend-ups on the slate. Lillard, nothing more than a contrarian spend-up because, again, point guard is loaded. Now, the rest of the USA guys, everyone feels a little bit overpriced. Drew Holiday's probably going to start and play over 20 minutes, but I don't want to pay 8.5 for him. Levine, Booker, a little bit overpriced. Tatum probably comes off the bench and plays around 20 minutes. Again, I don't think I'm going to go there. I think Bam Adebayo would be the only other guy I'd look to in the United States because Spain is a big front court. Talked about this in the video for Draftkings as well as on FanDuel that Spain is a lot of bigs, right? The Gasol bros, have Hernan Gomez. So I think Bam Adebayo will play over 20 minutes in this game, probably 20 to 25. He's only 6.7K, but again, there's a lot of good plays at the center position. I think I'm going to stay away from everyone else. I saw someone ask about Chris Middleton. The issue I have with Chris Middleton is he only played 6 minutes there against France. That was a competitive game. This game was a blowout against Iran. This game was a blowout against Czech Republic. That's why I played a little bit more. So what happens in a competitive game? I think the minutes could be pretty limited for Middleton. So I'll probably stay away from him. All right, let's move on to Spain. So Spain at the top, we have Ricky Rubio below 10K. I actually think he's one of my favorite spend-ups of the slate. Now, the issue with him has been the minutes, 22, 25, and 24. However, he's going to be very productive when he's on the court. 13, 13, 23 shot attempts, 9, 4, 9 assists. And I do think since this is a quarterfinal game, win or go home, he might play a little bit more. Maybe instead of low to mid-20s, he plays 27, 28 minutes. If that's the case, we could see 45, 50 fantasy points from Ricky Rubio. So he is one of my favorite spend-ups in the slate for sure. Again, he's gone for 36, 40, and 37 fantasy points the last 3 games, and that's with limited minutes. Now, the next tier for Spain, again, I'm going to stay away from with Claver, Marc Gasol, Fernandez. They're all too pricey. Again, don't play Juancho Hernan Gomez. He is not on the team. A couple of other plays I think are intriguing here for Spain. We have Pau Gasol, should play about 15 minutes. Will be productive when he's out there. 5.7 is not the best price, but I think he's playable. Alex Abrines at 4.4, I think is a pretty good value play. Again, he's shooting guard. He only played 7 minutes last game, but he was in severe foul trouble. Picked up 4 fouls in that time. So I think he plays over 20 minutes, 21, 29 minutes the other 2 games. Now, I've had a couple people ask me about a ball day, 3.2K. Zero interest. Zero interest in him. The reason he played 27 minutes last game, Alex Abrines foul trouble. So let's take a look at the other 2 games when Abrines is not in foul trouble. 17 minutes, 5 fantasy points. 8 minutes, 3 fantasy points. Also brought up some exhibition games. Let's see. Against Japan, 17 minutes, 2 points, 2 boards, 1 assist. 27 minutes, 3 boards, 1 assist in the preparation game. 23 minutes, 3 points, 4 boards, 1 assist. So not productive when he's on the court. He got a lot more minutes because of Abrines foul trouble. He's also point guard. I have no interest. Couple of guys I do want to mention, though. So we'll talk about it. Brenes Hernan-Gomez at 4-3 is not out of play. I think he'll play about 10 minutes. Will be productive when he's out there. However, again, I've talked about there's some good center plays on the slate. Rodriguez, I think, is in play at 4-3. I would have wished he was a little bit cheaper, but he'll play 15 to 18 minutes, play the backup point guard role, but he'll be productive when he's on the court, and he was formerly an NBA player. So a little bit interested in Rodriguez, but that's about it. I'm not going to go to Garuba at 3-8. I just don't think we have to go there. All right, guys, so let's move out of France and Italy. Let's see, what do we got? What's going on, guys? Yeah. Not hungover, no, just voice has gone a little bit. All right, so let's talk about France and Italy. France, Rudy Gobert, too pricey at 8.7K, 29, 22, 18 minutes. Just don't want to go there. Fournier and DeColo I like. So they got limited minutes last game because they didn't really need to play a ton against Iran. But a game that mattered against USA, Fournier played 34 minutes. Nando DeColo played 32. DeColo's a guy that's going to handle the ball a ton. 8, 8, and 5 assists the first 3 games. Again, Fournier is at a position shooting guard is very, very weak. So I like both these players for France. I think both push for 30-plus minutes if this game stays close. The game is projected to be close. Both should be the top, players on offense for France. So I like Fournier, I like DeColo, and you're getting them at a nice discount off of those guys at the top. Now the rest of France. I think Nick Batum's very safe too. Against small forward, weaker position. Should play close to 30 minutes. Not going to be their top option in offense, but he's a kind of a guy that can do it all. I think a very safe play at that price. Not much else here I love. I'll mention Poirier. I think plays around 15 minutes off the bench. Will be the backup 5. He is a good point per minute guy, so a viable GPP play. And then Yabusele has played 18, 6, and 19 minutes first 3 games. Assuming he starts, I think we get close to 20 minutes from him. He is not the best point per minute guy, but he's very cheap. I think if he starts, he'll push for about 20 minutes. So playable value play. All right, so move on to Italy. Italy, we have, first I got to mention Gallinari. The minutes have just not been there for him. 19, only 9 minutes last game. He played mid-20s minutes game 1. He's been coming off the bench. I mean, the price is down in him. Is there a chance he plays mid-20s minutes in this game? I think it's possible. So, could you try to buy low and hope the minutes are there? Sure. But I think it's a pretty big risk right now. It's just not a great sign the minutes have been trending down. Now, Fontenchio has been the most consistent player at 7.3K. I think we get, 28 to 30 minutes from him. Him and Polonara were the top 2 guys in offense for Italy in the exhibition games. They've kind of been the top guys with Nico Mannion in the Olympic Games as well. So, 37, 29, 24 fantasy points first 3 games for Fontenchio. He's no longer, we're no longer getting him at a discount when he's like 5.5K game 1. So I think he is playable, but maybe a little bit overpriced. Nico Mannion I do kind of like at 5.6. And the one concern is he only played 16 minutes last game. Previous 2 games he played mid-20s minutes. Now he's going to handle the ball a ton when he's out there. Whether he starts or not, I'm not super worried about it. I would guess he plays mid-20s minutes in this one. He had a couple big games in the exhibition games. He had the big game 2, run for 21, 7, and 3. And he's only 5.6K. So I think Mannion is a very solid play in the mid-range. I do think he plays mid-20s minutes in this one. Nico Melli, I think, is a safer play. I think we get 25-ish minutes from him. He had a really good game 1, kind of let down game 2, and bounced back in game 3. So 30, 11, and 24 fantasy points first 3 games. He's under 5K, and the minutes should be there for him. So solid value for Melli. I think Polonara is also a really good value play. He had a really bad game 1 when he was popular. He shot 0 of 6. Next couple games, 22, 25 minutes, and has gone for 23 and 22 fantasy points. So I do think he is a pretty good value play. And last one I mentioned here is Tunit at 4.5. Shooting guard eligible, so play over 30 minutes game 1, 22 game 2, 27 game 3. So I think we get mid to high 20s minutes from him. If he's shooting well, they might leave him out there a little bit more. Now the same thing I'll say with Tunit as Andreas Obst is he's very, very light in scoring. Same with Alex Abrenas, right? These guys are not having the shots to do a below floor, but he's cheap and I think plays mid-20s minutes. Again, maybe a little bit more if he's knocking out some shots. So definitely in play for value. All right, guys, let's finish it up with Argentina, Australia, and then we can get to some questions. So real quick, last one more time, if you could, leave a like button on the live stream, guys. And subscribe if you haven't already. About half of you that watch these videos and live streams are not subscribed. Trying to hit 10K subscribers, closing in on that. We're at 140 viewers and 44 likes. Thank you guys again. And let's move on to this final game. So Argentina, Campozo and Scolo bounced back in a big way last game. Now the issue here is they've played under 30 minutes each of the first 3 games in the Olympics, but both these guys should be pretty productive when they're out there. Both had an off game 2, but that was a game where Lapiertola took over and went for 39 fantasy points. So Camposo, Scola, I think are fair plays, maybe a little bit riskier because the minutes. Again, they like running that pick and roll. If you watch that game against Japan, it was just nonstop Camposo, Luis Scola pick and rolls. And again, maybe since it's the win or go home, they might play a couple extra minutes. So do some interesting Camposo and Scola as spend ups. Gabriel Deck at 7-9, not out of play, but I rank him behind those other two guys I just mentioned. I think he plays mid-20s minutes. Again, he is on an NBA roster on the end of the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's small forward too, and small forward is a weaker position. Lapiertola intrigues me here. The reason is he had an awful game 1, but last couple games, 32 and 29 minutes. Game 2 is when he took over, went for 39 fantasy points. Game 3, he played 29 minutes, shot awful 0 of 8, but still went for almost 20 fantasy points. So he's, an aggressive player in the offensive end. We saw 4 and 6 assists last couple games, and he's only 6.2K. So I do have some interest in Lapiertola. I think the upside is there. Obviously, we saw it in Game 2. I think D'Elia is one of those centers I like. Should play, I would think, over 20 minutes. He's played 25 and 23 last couple games. Australia does run a bigger, does have a bigger roster. Obviously, no Baines, but they still have Nicholas K and Jack Landale that I think will play 25 to 30 minutes. So I think D'Elia is a fair play, a good rebounder. Not the best player on offense, but he's the guy that can get those putbacks, some easy dunks. So I think he's a pretty solid value play. Valdoza, 4.7K, is in play. I think plays 20 to 25 minutes. Now, the issue is he's point guard eligible. Again, point guard, there's so many good plays. So I rank him behind some of the other value plays we've mentioned just because of the position, right? And with there being so many good plays. So point guard, it's a little bit difficult to get to him. The last guy I mentioned here is Brusino. I think he's going to be one of the more popular value plays in the slate because of the minutes. 25, 30 minutes. Again, he's shooting guard eligible. Same thing I'll say about those other shooting guards. He is pretty reliant on the scoring. 7 rebounds is more of an outlier game for him in last game, but I do think he'll play over 20 minutes, and he's priced below 4K. So, yeah, I like some Brusino there for value, and that is it for Argentina. Let's finish up with Australia. One of my favorite teams to target once again because they run a very tight rotation. We'll start with Patty Mills, one of my favorite spin-ups. Should play over 30 minutes, 35, 36, and 33 minutes last 3 games, 16, 17, and 23 shot attempts, 6'5", 6 assists. He's just going to do it all, right? He's going to handle the ball a ton. He's going to get a ton of shot attempts up, and he's going to play big minutes. So what is there not to like about Patty Mills other than the fact that he's the second most pricey player on the slate? So, yeah, if you have the salary for Mills, I like him a lot here at that price. Joe Ingles at 8.6, more of a contrarian spin up. He'll probably be their number 2 option on offense. Now, could he still have an upside game? Yeah, but we've seen sub 30 fantasy points from him each of the first 3 games. So right now, more of a contrarian spend up. I don't have any interest in Thibault at that price. And then 2 value plays I like a good amount here. Nicholas K, Jack Landale. So again, no Aaron Baines. Both these guys should play some big minutes. We saw 31 minutes from Nicholas K last game, and we saw about 25, I think. 25 minutes for Jack Landale. Again, both are good rebounders, both are good point per minute guys, and both are cheap. So, and they ran a tight rotation, based on 8-man rotation. So I like K and Landale again here, both really good value plays. 2 more guys I'll mention here, and then we'll get to some questions. So Dante Exum at 4.6K. Because shooting guard is weak, he plays around 20 minutes. Had a nice game 1, kind of had a dud game 2, bounced back a little bit game 3. Fair value play, again, is viable because of the tight rotation. And last guy I'll mention is Delvedova. I think plays high teens to low 20s minutes. He's not going to be super productive when he's out there, but he's below 4K. Again, though, the issue is he's point guard eligible. And I've said it a few times now, point guard is loaded today, so I don't know if I want to use one of my value plays at the point guard position. Okay, so I think that's really it, guys, for my breakdown. Got about 10 minutes left from the questions, so make sure to leave them in the chat. And, yeah, let's get to them. So, Nick asked, Rubio or Patty Mills? Really, really good question. 2 of the better setups for sure. If I had to pick, I think I would have small lean to Patty Mills because of the minutes. Right? He's a guy that probably plays 35 minutes, where Rubio we've been seeing, at most 25. Yeah, so I think you can make the argument to fade Luka because, like I said, if you play Luka, you can only get 1 more star in your lineup. If you fade Luka, then you can get 3 stars in. And I think either build works. I do. It just depends, if Luka only goes for 50, then I think the fade's going to work. If Luka goes for, let's say, 60 plus, I think you're going to need him tonight. Tuna or Abrinas? Yeah, that's a good question. Small lean to Tuna, I think. But they're pretty similar plays. Both should play 20-plus minutes. Both are relying on scoring. So it kind of comes down to who has a better shooting game. Tori said, I'm deciding between Luka and Mills or Luka, Rubio, Lapiertola. Yeah, so, like, I would probably lean that. Wait. So, like, 2 versus 3? Ask that question again. K and Landell, Beast, yeah, they're both really good value plays. 13K is crazy. Yeah, so you're going to have to sacrifice a lot to get Luka. Now, I do think you can make it work, but like I said, if you play him, you can only get one more star in there. Balance build. So, how balanced are we talking about, right? Right on, Tori. Let's see. Are you playing Luka in your only lineup? Debating. I think it's a tough call. I really think it's close. I'm trying to gauge what his ownership is going to be. I'm not sure. I would think around 50%, but I could be wrong in that. Oh, did Caruso go to the Bulls? Really? Yeah, Valdoza or Tuna. The reason I'm going to say Tuna is because he's shooting guard. Valdoza is a point guard. There's a lot of good plays at point guard, so I would rather use one of my value plays at the shooting guard position. Melli or Polonara? That one's pretty close. I'll give a small lean to Polonara. Could you rank Rubio, Mills, Durant? I'm going to say all three are very close. Like, this is not a strong take, but I'm going to say Mills, then Durant, then Rubio. Yeah, not sure. Not sure on Fournier. Definitely considering him, though, because shooting guard is weak, and I think if you plug him in, he'll play over 30 minutes, and he's cheap. Favorite USA play? It's going to be Kevin Durant for me. Oh, Dragic went to the Raptors? Wow. Yeah, KD or Rubio. So I'm going to say a small lean to KD because he's a small forward, and small forward's just a little bit of a weaker position. But, yeah, it's by like the slimmest of margins. If Wagner starts, is he a must? Definitely not. I don't expect him to start. He hasn't started the first 3 games, so and even in the exhibition games, he wasn't starting. I mean, if I play Luka Mills, I have to go full value from there. But if I play Luka Rubio, I can get mid-range guy. Yeah, and the mid-range guy was what, Lapiertola, right? Maybe that one with Lapiertola, because I think, if we see minutes like we did the last couple games for him, like high 20s to low 30s, I think he is a little bit underpriced. So I think a lean to that. Now, game 1 he only played 14 minutes. I think it's because he was playing really bad. So is there a chance his minutes could go down, Lapiertola? Possible. But if you play him, obviously you're hoping for the close to 30 minutes. Proplich and Yabusele or Mannion and Tunet? Ooh, that's pretty close. That is pretty close. I'll say the second one by a slim margin. Favorite center play? I think Nicholas K. He played 31 minutes last game, right? He's very, very cheap. So with no Aaron Baines, I think his minutes are pretty secure. I'll say Nicolo and Fournier together. I probably wouldn't do it on a 4-gamer. I think you're going to need something weird to happen. You're going to need like blowouts in the other games. You might need overtime. So even though I think both are underpriced, I don't think I would play them both in the same lineup. Now with the Australian centers, I think it's a little more doable because they're cheap, right? Where DeColo and Fournier are about 8K, the Australian centers are both sub 5K, so they don't need to do as much to pay off their salary. So that is more viable. You don't have to play both Australian centers together, but that is more viable than I think playing DeColo and Fournier together. Yeah, I'm probably going to pass on Giffey. Kind of like M-Low today too. He'll be pretty low owned. I think he's more of a contrarian play for me. Favorite value besides 2 Australian centers? I don't know if I have one. We talked about, the shooting guard position. There's definitely some value there with guys who are going to play some decent minutes. So That's a weaker spot. Maybe look at some value. I'm either punting shooting guard or going up to Fournier. Cabot or Brasino? Cabot? Do you mean, wait. Do you mean Tunet or Brasino? You might have to ask that question again. Favorite forward besides Polinar in the 5K range. All right, let's take a look at the 5K range for forward. So, yeah, it's going to be Nick Batum. I think Nick Batum's pretty safe. Throw this game out because everyone got limited minutes there for France. 31, 27 minutes first couple of games, 20 fantasy points each of those games. Again, he's not going to be their top option in offense, but he's a guy that can kind of stuff the stat sheet. So I think it'll be Nick Batum. I think he's a very safe play. Thoughts on Opes from Germany. Decent value play. Should play, I would think, close to 30 minutes. He's a sharpshooter, and he can knock down some shots. However, he's not going to do much besides score the ball. Prepelic and Yabusele or Lapvertola and Yabusele. So basically, Prepelic versus Lapvertola. Is Prepelic only a point guard? I forget. So we have Lapvertola. Yeah, so Prepelic is shooting guard. Lapvertola is point guard. That one's basically coin flip. I'm going to give the edge to Prepelic, and the only reason I do is shooting guard's a weak position. So I'll lean to Prepelic for that reason. Yeah, Lonzo to the Bulls. I think it's a good fit, right? He's a good defender. He can distribute the ball. I think the Bulls are going to be a fun team to watch next year. Giffey or Yabusele. It's going to be Yabusele for me. I think if Yabusele starts, he should play close to 20 minutes. Bonga or Muric. I'll say Bonga. I think, we've seen 20-plus minutes from him each of the last 3 games. Now, he's taking a little bit of a step back offensively, but he's still a good rebounder, can block some shots, good defender. You like Polinar at small forward? Yeah, I think Polinar is a good value. Any chance they put Holiday, clips Rubio, and he goes for under 38 fantasy points? I mean, Holiday's a good defender, but that's not going to get me off Rubio. Now, again, the worry with Rubio I have is the minutes, right? He's most likely not going to play over 30 minutes. The best center we want over that, let's see, Fonchio and Batum or KD and Yabusele. Lean to the second one, I think. Mills and Fournier or Luka Lapvertola. Tough question. I think a small lean to the second one. Do you think Spain or USA wins the game? I mean, USA. Kind of they're 12.5 point favorite, so I would lean USA. Abrinas, Tunups, or Obst. It's probably going to be one of the shooting guards because, again, that's just a weaker position. And they're basically the same, right? Abrinas and Tunup should play over 20 minutes. They're very reliant on scoring, so it kind of comes down to who hits their shots, right? So, I don't have a strong take on that. I wish Obst was a shooting guard because that would make him easier to play. You don't know if you like Mills more than Rubio. The reason I would give an edge to Mills is because of the minutes. Right, he should play 35. Rubio most likely plays mid-20s. Yeah, KD Rubio, the smallest lean to KD, but that's close. I'm lower to Colo. I'll lean to Colo. I'll stick with it. Let's see. Okay. Do you fear Drew on Rubio? I'm not going to get off Rubio because of that now. The reason I would fade Rubio would be because of the minutes. Fade Luka and only lineups. It's a tough call. It's a really tough call. D-Rose back to the Knicks. Okay. TLC or Brasino? I'll go Brasino there. Let's see. Blazic or Nico Mannion? Nico Mannion, I think, is a little more upside. Yeah, I don't think I would play them both together. DeColo and Fournier. You're going to need something weird for that to work out. All right, guys. 1 more minute left, then we get out here. Appreciate you guys coming to check out the live stream. We hit over 150 concurrent viewers. We hit 60 likes, so thank you again. Germany, fair value, right? That being Andreas Obst. The only worry or the only issue I have with him is he's point guard and he's a shooting guard. He's super reliant in scoring, but the minutes should be there. He's played about 30 minutes the first 3 games. Yeah, I'm fine going to Obst or Cabarro or TLC out. I think I'll lean Andreas Obst. TLC had a good game last game because of the blowout. A lot of the starters got limited run. So I don't know if I go to TLC. Yeah, what I'll say with Rubio is I think he'll be kind of low owned. Marcus Gasol or Jason Tatum for showdown. Tatum, I guess. Kane, Opes, Orlando, and Rodriguez. I'll go the first one, I guess. You're going to stay up in the pizza and watch the games. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm going to try to watch a few of these games for sure. You have a gut feeling about Rubio? Yeah, go Rubio. Again, he's been so productive when he's out there. I think there's a chance he plays a couple extra minutes. All right, guys, this is going to do it for me. Last question, 3v3. So you have Luka, Brennis, and Sergio Rodriguez, or Fournier, DeColo, and Mannion. See, I don't want to play Fournier and DeColo together. So I guess the first one. I do like the options a little bit better than the second one, but I don't want to play DeColo and Fournier together. So that's it, guys. Appreciate you guys coming to check out the live stream. Good luck tonight. Enjoy these games. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, too. I'll retweet starting lineups and stuff like that, any relevant information. If there's any late scratches, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. So, again, make sure to follow me on Twitter. It is in the description below. And good luck. I'll see you guys back here for the next slate, I believe, in a couple days, semifinal games for Olympics. So I'll see you guys all then.